I carefully put the crystal into my bag. It might be the only thing that could help me. I'm going to have some noodles to eat, but I couldn't get the packet open without scissors thanks to my weak little arms. I remembered Nikita had stolen my scissors, putting a stop to my noodle meal. Not her worst crime so far, but probably her most annoying. In the end, I just had to eat crisps. This week was really taking a toll on my diet. I needed time to digest what I had read. I was too tired to do anything practical to deal with Nikita tonight. No doubt she was slinking around the university or holed up in her room, plotting. That night there were no dreams, there was only darkness. Okay, good, because I don't want to read more dreams. I woke up as tired as ever and wanted to check the internet for news, convinced I'd find a photograph of a disheveled Nikita being bundled into a police van after committing some atrocity in the name of the Broken Throne. Fortunately, it looked like Nikita hadn't been arrested for any terrible crimes. Unfortunately, this meant she was still my problem alone. Yesterday, Nikita had, well, not admitted to being a Daffodil Lane, but it was fairly obvious that she had been. I was pretty sure she wanted to open a portal to the White Gate of Hallie in that cursed basement. I needed to know if she had done anything there. Maybe I could find a way to stop her. I ate some sugar flakes and got ready for another long walk to Daffodil Lane. I arrived at Daffodil Lane only to be greeted by a loud caw, that mangy magpie again. The caw sounded like it came from near the creepy cottage, as if it was calling for me. I tried to spot the magpie, but they were nowhere to be seen. Oh! Hi! Oh god, I think my voice might be too tired to try to do the higher pitched parsnip voice. Hold on. Hi, Trixie! Fuck. I spun around and screamed. Directly behind me, less than half a meter away, stood Parsnip. Oh no, please no bad words, this is a no bully zone. Sorry, Parsnip, you just scared me, so I didn't expect you to be directly behind me like that. No one ever does, I'm very quiet. I couldn't help but feel slightly creeped out by that. I turned around to look for the magpie. I was sure I could feel their beady white eyes locked on me, but they were nowhere to be seen. Reluctantly, I turned back to Parsnip. He was grinning excitedly, and I noticed he had a picnic basket with him. What's the picnic stuff for? I'm having a picnic! Would you like to come, friend? I was kind of hungry, but I felt like I should probably get on with stopping Nikita. I feel like Parsnip's food might kill me. Sorry, Parsnip, but I'm kind of busy. I have big girl work to do. But busy? Too busy for a picnic with me, Parsnip Bottle? That's so sad. Are you sure? But yeah, I'm sure. Are you sure? Yep. See ya. I ran away. Ew. I stood in front of the abandoned cottage. The gateway to Carcosa. I needed to make sure Nikita hadn't done anything here. The cottage might be the only place I could stop her. The upstairs seemed pretty much as I'd left it. I know I was going to have to go downstairs, not a fun thought. Most of my last visit still swam in my mind fuzz. It's time to accept my fate and return to the basement where this all started. The skull sat in the same position as before. I almost started to believe I'd really just imagined them speaking to me. But before I could step any further into the room, they snapped around to face me and my heart sunk as I realized returning here was a mistake. Another guest. The little rat returns. Hello, friend. I was frozen, whether by shock or by the ghost design, I don't know. Please, I'm not here to... Your friend. Yes. The deer was here, searching for a gate she found. Already present, the yellow sign, creator, I am. Forever, never to be removed, no matter how much I tear at its paint. The gate is present, it needs only a key. No more preparations are needed, only the moonlight of a full moon, if what the deer says is true. A believable claim, for I too require tonight's white light, reunite broken body no more. If the deer speaks true, then endless ashen terrors crawling forth from the lake. The rapt, pointed fingers of the king, leading them. The decay will spread, the rot. Then I was too late to prevent Nikita from performing her ritual. It would be up to me in person. In battle, I would probably lose. I spent a lot of time studying the moon. It's pretty important to a lot of myths, especially around here. I knew very well that the next full moon was tomorrow. Okay, well that's all I needed to know, so I'll just be out of here. Scalp bone. Leave. Return. It is not important. This hovel is tainted. Unclean. I have no further use for it. I shall not be present for this evil. It's of me when I need to clean my kitchen. You would be wise to leave, little rat, before the ritual is performed. Farewell, little one. The ghost was leaving? Why? Not that I cared as long as it was out of my life. Yeah, Trixie's a rat. A skull shattered into dust, any evidence of their existence turned to a fine bone powder that joined the spores and dust in their toxic dance. I was thrown to the ground as the gold mist floated out of the basement like snow in a breeze. I climbed to my feet, my head ringing. I must have hit it when I fell. I made my way outside and caught my breath. My phone buzzed. It was Belle. Hey, Trix, up for an outing? I'm bored. I don't know. I'm kind of busy and, I have stuff to do, so... Oh. Okay, see you somewhere else then, hun. She sounded disappointed. Belle seemed really desperate for company. I felt like I should go deal with Nikita, but I realized there wasn't anything I could do to prepare. I was exhausted, I could barely think. All I could do was wait for tonight, the full moon. I decided no matter what, I should go hang out. It might be my last chance after all. Actually, I should be okay. I'm not as busy as I thought, so if you want, I can hang out. No worries, hun. Want to visit that birdhouse in the woods you were on about before? If you mean the bird settlement, sure, it'll be nice to go somewhere not creepy. That lake still makes me feel weird. Okay, how about we meet at Heidi's in about an hour and to pick up some magazines? some Milk Jugs magazines? Okay, I'll see you in a bit. I was glad to have an excuse to get away from the abandoned cottage, partly because it unnerved me and partly because I was worried Nikita might turn up at any moment. I didn't want her to know I was still trying to stop her. I was worried that my slow little legs would make me late and that I'd find Belle's skeleton waiting for me outside the shop. Hey Trixie, look like you're just in time. Only be a minute, I need to grab one of my big girl magazines. I think I'm gonna take a break for 5 to 10 minutes at some point in the next scene, after the next scene maybe, because I need to rest my voice for a few minutes. That's okay, I can buy some sweets or something. What's up, fucker? What do you want? Magazines, bitch! They high-fived. It was really weird. I don't really get- oh, this is the same text as before. Hey Trixie, nice to see you. Where are you two off to today? I don't think they're girlfriends, because if so, then Heidi should stop neglecting Belle. Caw Bree Tree, the old bird settlement in the woods. I'm into that kind of nerdy stuff. You want to come along, Heidi? Plenty of room in the milk float. Sorry, Belle, I'm pretty busy right now. I've got some stuff to move. She motioned to a pile of boxes over the counter, or on the counter. They looked like they were full of old antiques and books, but what really caught my eye was a strange white mask. Besides, I ended up in the scrap last night with someone wearing a box on their head. I won, obviously. I hurt my leg pretty bad when I tackled them, though, so I'm not really up for any outings. Haha. Heck, sounds nasty. Did you catch them? Grr. Nah, they're pretty small and hyperactive. They managed to get away, albeit empty-handed. That sounds pretty scary. I'm used to it. I've gotten into a lot of fights in my time. And won all of them. Heidi's pretty scary, but in a good kind of way. Or in kind of a good way. See, Heidi, your magazines are all mixed up. I can't find milk jugs anywhere. Huh, so you're right. Let's take a look. The pair started rooting through the magazines in search of Belle's filth. My attention was drawn to the stuff Heidi was moving. In particular, the strange white mask. It was pretty eerie. It felt so out of place. I shook the feeling off as probably part of a costume for a party or something. Phil managed to get a hold of her magazine. I totally forgot to buy any sweets. Anyway, we better get going. We've got a pretty long drive and it's already getting late. Okay, you two have fun without me again, haha. Bye, Heidi. Actually. Hey Trix, mind if we stop by La Rose's for a bit? I haven't seen her for a while, so we might as well say hi on the way, right? Sure, Belle, I don't mind. I kind of wish Belle had let me know about that before I walked all the way here. Okay, I'm gonna take a break for like 5 minutes. I'm gonna get some more water. Hello. Welcome back. Okay, I'm gonna stop at midnight, so I'm gonna keep going. I don't know who was here besides the three of us, but... yeah, Pat's been very quiet for a long time. Maybe he fell asleep or something. LaRose was lazing around in her deck chair. Hey, LaRose. Oh no, Pat's here. You watered the rats? Oh dear. Hey, LaRose. How are things? Well, I didn't expect to see you here. I'm just taking a break from marking homework. Not lazing around doing nothing all day. She glanced at me. I waved awkwardly. I didn't realize you knew Trixie. Sure do, we're heading to some bird tree in the woods. It's an educational thing. You're more than welcome to come along, LaRose. The more the merrier, right? Oh no, I have a lot to do here, like, She trailed off and kind of gestured randomly into the ether. It looks like Belle was about to reassure her, but LaRose cut her off. Crap. Hey, Belle, I just remembered. That piece of shit drone didn't deliver my milk today. That fucking bird killed it when it got too close to its trees. Could I maybe steal some milk off you? I glanced over to the tree as normal. The strange magpie was nowhere to be seen, though I could feel it watching me from somewhere. Heck, sure you can, babe. I've got some bottles left over. You can have a few. I don't care about this job anymore. LaRose laughed. It was odd. I'd never heard that before. You've only met her once for like less than 20 minutes, so. When did you? Belle handed LaRose 2 bottles and reached for a third. Good point. As Belle passed LaRose the bottle, her hooves lost grip. Belle's clumsy hooves desperately tried to grab the bottle as it tumbled through the air like a very heavy, transparent, and milky blue poppy petal. That's a weird way to describe something. As the milk shattered on the floor with a loud smash, Belle and LaRose tensed up in fear, and I was about to ask why they're making such a big deal out of it, given that Belle had dropped at least a third of her bottles when... Hi, Belle! Thanks for visiting! Haha, I have some milk questions for you! We swung our heads around to the wheat field. At the top of the hill, mere 200 meters away, we could see Parsnip's silhouette. His large glasses were masked in sunlight, but I could feel his eyes drilling into us with terrifying intensity. Fuck. Parsnip disappeared back into the long wheat and started to sprint towards us, cutting through the crop like an annoying knife. Aw, heck, it's Parsnip. Sorry, LaRose, we better get going before he starts interrogating me about milk for the next week. Wait, kid, I thought Parsnip was like 20. I assumed he was some kind of immortal, ageless woodland spirit created solely to piss me off. Belle's eyes flickered over to Parsnip. He was getting dangerously close. We better get going. Sorry, LaRose, bye. Belle jumped into her float and beckoned for me to follow. I happily obliged and got on board. Bye, LaRose? She's already gone, her curtains shut. Belle tried to start the engine, but it kept stalling. Hi, Belle. Have you got any new kinds of milk today? Does backwards milk exist? It should. Haha, it would be so exciting. Belle gritted her teeth and managed to finally get the engine going. The milk float sped off as Parsnip continued to speech behind us, growing quieter and quieter with every driving law we broke. Hey, Belle, how do you know LaRose? Is she a milk customer? Ah, well. We were in a relationship kind of thing for a while. It didn't end badly or anything, it just sort of stopped, I guess. LaRose has been having a tough time with her depression recently and needs space. I don't want to push her, you know? I don't know, maybe I should reach out to her. I'll try to get her outside next week. She's a good friend and I want to make sure she's doing okay. Oh, I'm sorry, Belle. I hope she's okay. She seems nice. Long story short, the museum was shut due to the heat. Apparently the reenactors kept fainting because they refused to take off their replica armor. I had managed to pick up a leaflet while I was there. I guess that was almost the same as getting to see the actual thing. Kakabri Tree. Visitor's Guide. Similar to most temperate bird settlements, the treetop buildings of Kakabri Tree were constructed using sticks tied together with grass and vines. Several of these buildings survive to this day. Amazingly, several ancient bird writings also survived. Local archaeologist Penny Splimpton discovered numerous complete and damaged rune weavings in the nearby Dark Barn Cave. I can't tell if these are like deliberately weird names or if I'm just like struggling with the Britishness of it all. These weavings are fairly standard, with large twigs forming runes in a grass-weaved tapestry, but their completeness and preservation is outstanding. Yeah, you heard it here first, folks. Splimpton. These weavings primarily talk of the same ancient bird myths many from the era cover. But no, some of these are just legitimate typos, like that shouldn't have an apostrophe. Primarily the star gods, an ancient legend of fantastical beings which supposedly ruled the world long ago and perished in battle in the skies above Rose Field against a great evil, leaving the world to us today. The dense woods and remote location of the settlement have shielded it from the elements and vandalism over the years. The settlement center in particular is remarkably well preserved, with a communal nest and walkways high in the trees where bird elders would once have met and run the settlement. There's actually nothing to indicate that the anthro birds are even still around, since all of the birds that were oh, my voice sounds fucked up now, doesn't it? All the birds we've talked about that seem like sentient people are, it's like all past tense. My voice sounds really fucked up. Yeah, because it looks- oh, there we go, there's my voice. Okay, I better be careful. Yeah. I'm also, like, the magpie from the first game was, like, sentient but looks like a regular bird, and we haven't actually seen any birds in this game, only feathers, so it's something to keep in mind. On a lower branch, seemingly fallen from its original height, is the leftovers of a bird armory. Several wooden helmets and beak extensions remain. 5 smaller personal nests also surround the central hub in various states of decline. One still has a small personal shrine to an ancient wood spirit in it, an exciting look into day-to-day life long ago. The player character is Parsnip, but I don't think that the dialogue was inaccurate because Parsnip's responses were very them, were very him, even when, but the, like, dialogue that he was talking over seemed like it matches up with the personalities. In this game, if that makes sense. Like, Parsnip behaved the same way as the player character as they do as a not-player character. But they also might just perceive things differently, yeah. I mean, they clearly perceive things differently. One had a small personal shrine to an ancient wood spirit in it, an exciting look into day-to-day life long ago. It is unknown when the settlement was abandoned, but it was likely during the Dark Age, when it was common for entire bird societies to uproot and migrate to lands where food was more readily available. I was about to comment how everything in this county seemed to be way more mysterious than it should be when I spotted a flash of movement in front of us. Ah! Something huge pounced into the road. It looked like one of the wild sheep that lived in the woods, much larger than its farmyard sisters. Belle yelled and swerved to avoid it, and before either of us could react, the milk float was tumbling through the woods straight towards its cliffside. Oh, crap. I woke up tangled in a bush. It was night. I must have been unconscious for some time. Belle? There was no answer. No, Belle! I fidgeted slightly, trying to work out if I was dead or not. Fortunately, I wasn't. With a lot of effort, I managed to pull myself up onto my feet. Thankfully, the bush had cushioned me when I was thrown from the float. The float was a few meters away, crumpled against a tree. It didn't look like a nasty crash. Me and Belle must have both leaped from the side doors last minute. So if we both made it out of the float, where was Belle? I looked around frantically, barely being able to see in the nighttime gloom. My phone has survived no worse for its already considerable wear, and I turned on its light, frantically shaking it to keep it from flickering out. Belle? Again, there was no answer. Belle was gone. I realized she must have gone to try and get help. In the distance, I saw the cliff we'd plummeted off of. It wasn't too tall, but it was far too steep to climb back up. There was no obvious way back to the road. I began to panic. I didn't want to be lost alone out here at night, not after all the stories I'd read about the woods. Before I could get too worked up, I noticed a trail of hoof prints leading away from the float. I let out a sigh of relief. They led deeper into the woods and onto a hiking trail not far from here. Maybe Belle had followed the trail and found help. She left without me? Didn't look for me? Or did she just leave me in the bush to die? Sheep have hooves. You think that Belle's a sheep or something? I started walking down the path. I had a slight limp. I was worried something was broken, but it turned out my leg had gone to sleep. No, you think the footprints are of a sheep instead of... Okay, that makes more sense. Okay. I don't know why that was my first assumption. I must have been led on it in the bush. I don't know what that means. I don't know how long I followed the path through the dark woods. Every sound put me on edge. Each crack of a branch under my foot, rustle of leaves as I brushed past a tree, or whisper of the wind made me fear the worst. That I was being stalked. Months of reading spooky stories were coming back to haunt me. I started to curse my imagination, but then I realized it wasn't me stepping on branches or brushing past trees. It wasn't the wind whispering through the woods. It was something else. I stopped. A second later, lagging behind my movement, a snap. I was being followed. I spun around in fear. Through the trees, silhouetted in moonlight, was a furry shape. The furlock. What's up? Wait, did I read about that in one of the books? What's a furlock? I ran and so did it. Or rather, it glided through the woods as if it was flying. Faster than I could hope to move. I'd read stories of the furlock, a terrible ancient beast that haunted the woods. Oh, yeah, I guess so. Gnashing teeth and ripping claws, and horribly fast, agile feet. I was doomed. I had to keep running. Perhaps I could lose it in the dark. Then almost immediately my foot caught on something. My other foot, I think. I tumbled onto the floor, my stomach turning as I knew the furlock would soon be upon me. I landed face down and pulled my hands over my head, curling up into the fetal position. If I was to perish, I wished to do without looking upon the furlock's terrible face. Nothing happened. No terrible snarl followed by an onslaught of mangled claws and crooked fangs. I was about to look up when I felt a pair of small paws shuffle through my bag. I almost screamed, but managed to stay quiet. Playing dead seemed to come naturally to me. They grabbed something and sniffed curiously. Also, if you can hear horrible mechanical noises, the garbage trucks have come, as they do. The furlock was stealing my cheese rope snacks, presumably to eat as a side while it devoured me for lunch. I don't think that's the furlock. It grabbed something bulky, the game's cartridge from the abandoned cottage. Oh, okay. I guess a decision we made earlier is coming back. The furlock? What? That's mine! Oh wait, no, then it's the squirrel. Thief? For an ancient forest predator, the furlock had a pretty girly voice. I felt the game leave my bag. My attacker scurried off into the woods. Yes. As an adventure game protagonist, I can feel my inventory changing. After a few moments, I climbed up. Everything else was in my bag. Did I just get robbed by a feral child? Yeah. Thought about the missing squirrel girl. I wasn't sure to make of any of this. Right now, I just wanted to get out of the woods. Belle couldn't be that far away. I followed the path for a while longer, and then I saw her. I was relieved to no longer be alone, but something was wrong. Belle was stood in front of a small pond. The pond was lit, but not by moonlight, starlight, or torchlight. Despite its ominous black water, I was strangely drawn to it. A feeling of unease welled up inside of me. My mind was pulled back to the black water of that terrible lake. I could tell, deep in my mind, that the pond was bottomless. Belle? She jumped and turned to me looking confused. Oh, hey there, Trixie. She glanced around looking increasingly disoriented. Say, Trixie, hun, you don't happen to know where we are, do you? We crashed in the woods, remember? You wandered off. Are you okay? Did you hit your head or something? Belle stared at me blankly for a moment while her brain ticked over her memories of the day. Well, I'll be, that's right. I was following you along the hiking trail, remember, and I ended up here. You were following me? I don't think that's right. She turned to the pool of inky black water and shivered. What did she mean she followed me? Well, darn, heck knows what I was thinking staying here so long. It's pretty nasty, huh? I could tell she was still confused. She almost sounded afraid. I'd never seen her like this before. We both stumbled back onto the path. Trixie says, Belle, earlier you said you followed me there. Did I say that? Oh, geez, Trix's memory's kind of fuzzy right now. I suppose I might have imagined it. I mean, I think I hit my head in the crash. I shivered. I hope it was Belle's imagination, but earlier today I took a short break from writing to do some research. Apparently there's no pond on the trail. The woods, that pond, the lake. This county is cursed. But that isn't relevant to this account, sorry. At the time, I decided not to bring it back up. The last thing we needed walking through the dark forest was spooky thoughts. Hey, Belle, this is gonna sound pretty weird, but I'm pretty sure that missing squirrel kid hunted me through the woods and stole my snacks. Belle turned to face me, a somewhat bemused expression wrought on her face. Excuse me? When I was tracking you down, I ended up getting chased through the woods. I thought there was a monster or something. But once they finally caught me, they had a little girl voice and took a video game I found back at Daffodil Lane off of me. Apparently it was theirs. I don't know, it was pretty weird. Maybe I just dreamed the whole thing. It did seem pretty far-fetched. Maybe I'd fainted from all the running and stuff and it just fallen out of my bag. Maybe. I guess the dark plays tricks on you, right? And the head trauma from the crash. Sorry, this has been a bit of a crappy day at Trix. I mean, it was fun up until the crash, which wasn't really your fault. Huh, well, I'm glad you enjoyed some of it. I wanted today to be fun, though, so I've been feeling a little lonely recently. Yeah, I noticed. What? Despite my steely resolve? It wasn't that hard to notice you were feeling weird about company. Aw, heck. It's just all my friends seem to be avoiding me. I mean, I know they aren't, or everyone's just real busy recently, or has other things on their mind. Brains are kind of mean, though, right? I sometimes worry everyone secretly hates me. I don't think anyone hates you, Belle. I mean, geez, everyone seems to really like you. LaRose, Greg, Heidi. Me? Aw, shucks, I know, Trixie. Always hard to believe it, though. I guess I just have some unresolved emotional issues from pre-transition, haha. Oh, I guess Belle is trans. I think maybe everyone's trans. Wanna talk to me? No. Oh, fair enough. I've only known you a few days, maybe that was a little personal. It's pretty understandable that Belle wouldn't want to tell me about their darkest feelings as soon as they met me. Life isn't some soppy visual novel. Okay. Though if it were, I'd probably get a lot more monsters kissing me. Sorry. Anyway, once I get some uni drama finished and my coursework, I guess I can hang out with you more. Just at the attic, Mouse. No need to cart me all over the county. Though if you want to take me to Cyber Drake, well, yes, from Mars World. Sure thing, Trixie. I look forward to it. We eventually found ourselves emerging from the woods into a car park. Blue Hill Woods Country Park, a sign read. We'd made it out to civilization. We're alive. Don't sound so surprised, hon. Come on, I might be able to get some signal here. I can phone us a lift and we can go to the hospital. Make sure we aren't about to die from latent crash injuries, you know. It was already so late I couldn't waste time at a hospital. I know I was fine, or at least as fine as I normally am. Daffodil Lane wasn't too far from here. I could see it on the local area map next to the trail start. I had to get there now before Nikita did anything. For all I knew, I was already too late. Bella, I need to go. There's stuff I need to help my friend. I mean... Are you sure you're okay, Trixie? Don't want to go to the hospital with me? I'm fine, really. I'm just some uni drama I need to deal with, the stuff that's been bothering me the last few days. I mean, an argument over a book doesn't sound quite important enough to warrant skipping hospital after crashing down a cliff in a milk float. Whatever, I trust you. Okay, Trixie, if you're sure you're fine and it's really important as you say. You go do your stuff, yeah? Just message me tomorrow, okay? To let me know you're not, like, dead. There's a decent chance I would be, but I decided to keep that to myself. See you, Belle. Thanks for hanging out all week. Bye-bye, hun. I'll see you tomorrow. I turned and ran as fast as my weak little legs could carry me. I really hoped I would see Belle again. I like Belle a lot, so me too. I walked down Daffodil Lane towards the abandoned cottages. Or the abandoned cottage. Must have been about 1 or 2 in the morning. I feared I was too late, but there didn't seem to be any sign that Nikita was successful. The abandoned cottage seemed unchanged. Could it be that Nikita hadn't come? My hopes were shattered when I stepped inside. I could hear murmuring from the basement. Nikita was here. Surrounded by candles, she stood upon the yellow sign. She faced away from me, chanting to herself. I think she was trying to repeat some kind of incantation, but she kept tripping up on her words and losing her place. A small crystal sat in the center of the yellow sign, shimmering faintly in the candlelight. and to talk her out of this madness. I know I was too weak to fight her after the night's events so far, and I'm pretty sure Nikita is more violent than she looks. Nikita? Oh, Trixie. I'm surprised you dared show your furry little face here. I assumed you'd be in your room drawing bat hentai or something. I have to say I'm impressed. I must admire your dedication to annoying me. But you're too late. This ritual is in progress. I walk across the cloud waves to my destiny. I mean, right now you're kind of just stood there. Okay, but soon I shall walk across the cloud waves to my destiny. It's not like you're going to stop me. By all means, stay and watch my ascension, or fuck off, I don't care. I need to wait a little longer is all. Was Nikita wrong? She seemed confused somehow. Her ritual didn't seem to be going to plan. The candles had almost melted to their bases. How long had she been there? Nikita, stop. The ritual isn't working. You won't get through your gate. How about you come back to uni with me so we can talk this out? No. I will not forfeit my birthright because of your little lies. I will succeed. It's just taking a little longer than it should. I need to prove to the king. I need to show him my faith has not faltered. The one who sits on the broken throne cannot be weak. They cannot be unsure. Maybe I made a mistake. The candle placement must be wrong, or maybe my pronunciation is off. She started flicking through her notepad, desperation building on her face. I was starting to doubt Nikita. I had expected her to summon up a portal of shimmering cloud and step through to her destiny. Instead, she just seemed utterly broken, deranged. Maybe you're wrong? About the ritual, about the throne? About the play? Trixie, shut up. I know what's wrong. The one external variable. It's you. This is a test. I must prove myself. My loyalty? Well, I will not break. Please don't murder me. I swear to you. I swear to you're my king. You're my king? What? I swear to my king, from upon the broken throne I shall call forth the dread fleet, the ashen horrors of the Twilight Quarter, and the Iron Watchmen. I shall set them on Trixie and crush her. And now, my king, you will bring me the White Gate? Will you bring me the White Gate? She was serious. The malevolence in her voice was enough to kill any doubt I had these were the words of a madwoman. Nikita had to be stopped. This ritual could not be completed. The artifact I did possess was powerful to be sure, but against Nikita? I had the crystal with me, sure, but Nikita was smarter than me. She would have prepared for it. She probably had something to cancel it out. Heck, I was so exhausted by this point after last night, she could probably just steal mine and destroy it. I was hopeless. Regretfully, I had to turn to my backup plan. I haven't spoken up about what happened so far. Truth be told, I've been trying to forget it. I almost did until now. Still, I hope you'll understand it was necessary, and I include it here in the interest of full disclosure. Do you think that when the, academic board is, reading her request for an extension for the semester, she, included all of the hentai jokes? Thanks for reading this far, by the way. I know it's dragged on a bit. Nikita, I'm really sorry. But I'm not letting you do this. For once in my useless little life, I'm standing up for myself. What? I charged Nikita with a fury I'd never felt before. I wasn't going to let Nikita sit atop the broken throne. I wasn't going to let the terrible denizens of the decaying city under the dead moon leak into my world and destroy me. Destroy my new friends. Nikita's face was an equal mix of terrified and bemused. I don't think she considered I might do anything other than passively roll over and die. Usually she would be right, but as strange as it might seem, the events earlier that night had made me realize how much I actually quite liked living. This gives me vibes of this dialogue happens regardless of how you get here. I slammed into Nikita and immediately crumpled to the floor with a yelp. The second I hit her, I had felt a sharp pain in my side. From my waist jutted my novelty scissors, their wacky wavy blade shimmering in the candlelight. Don't stab me! Enough games, Trixie. Now stay there, I'll be coming back for you soon. I just need to get this gate open. Nikita turned back to the yellow sign and began flickering maniacally through her notes. I was close to passing out, her silhouette blurred in my tired eyes. But I wasn't going to let Nikita win. With a pathetic little whimper, I managed to pull the blade from my side. Nikita was so transfixed on her work she didn't even realize until I shakily climbed to my feet. Goodness, Trixie, where's this kind of determination the rest of your silly little life? I'm sorry, Nikita. What? I turned away and fled, sprinting up the stairs in agony. Nikita's voice rang out from behind me. Fine, Trixie, run, be a coward, but there will be no escape from my power. I will crush you. There was no time to listen to her threats. I didn't have long left to stop her. I stumbled to Acorn Cottage. The gas canisters in the evidence box had been left untouched since my first visit. Oh, is it time for arson? It was a foolish and horrific plan, but I'd run out of options. I couldn't fight Nikita, I knew I'd lose. I grabbed a canister and prayed that it was full. It was heavy and made the run back to the abandoned cottage painful. My body ached from the stab wound, but a cocktail of adrenaline and fear let me power through. I managed to get myself back down the stairs, almost collapsing from the weight of the canister. I tossed it across the room to Nikita. It hit the floor with a clang, followed by hissing as gas leaked from the canister and visibly floating towards the candles Nikita had set up. Nikita jumped at the sound and turned to me. For the first time that night, I saw genuine fear in her eyes. My heart wrenched knowing what I was doing, and I tried to apologize, but I found myself winded from exertion. The two of us trembled for a second, but I saw Nikita's eyes glance down to my hands and widen. In my hands I held the king in yellow. I felt my face grew pale at sight of the hellish tome, and Nikita spoke out. It's not real, none of it. Trixie, It was too late. I turned and fled up the stairs. Is she gonna apologize right before we murder her? Now I just feel bad. As I reached the top of the stairs, I heard the gas ignite and the floor beneath me ruptured upwards. Fire bloomed out of the ground like a flower, and I was thrown into the air and out of the cottage. For a second, I could swear I saw once more the curling clouds of Lake Holly and the rotten spire of the Imperial Palace of Carcosa. The moon, larger than ever before, hung in the red sky like a white stain. The clouds swirled and the orange flash of fire returned to my vision. I found myself facing the blazing remnants of the cottage. I knew what I had to do. I pulled myself to my feet and weighed the terrible tome in my hands, once more looking upon its awful scaled cover. With a moment's hesitation, I flung it into the inferno. I was finally rid of it. Its snakes and cover bubbled and melted, but it was some time before the rotting pages caught alight. I watched the book burn, hoping in vain that my memories of it would turn to ash along with it. When I heard distant sirens, I fled into the fields. I eventually stumbled back to my room and fell into my bed. We just murdered somebody! Oh my god, okay. Fortunately, my wound was more painful than it was deadly, and I seemed to have survived. The reality of what I did that night has only just started to set in the beginning to realize that I may be in trouble. I may be sick, but those are thoughts for another time. I've tried to write this as fast as possible so I can give you a good account. My memory isn't fantastic. I'm gonna drink some water. I've ignored about 500 messages from Belle over the last days relating this. Rude, I know, but this is important. Can you sprain your vocal cords? Anyway, I hope this document explains sufficiently why I've been justifiably busy and need a week or two more to complete my coursework. In retrospect, I probably should have kept it shorter since I seem to have run out of room on the form and, well, I guess without realizing it, most of my statement on the walls. Sorry. We're just writing all over our walls like an insane person. Okay, great. I intend to begin my coursework as soon as I receive confirmation that you're giving me an extension, which I hope you can agree with me is only fair. For now, I'm going to talk to Belle. I know she must be worried about me. I need to talk to her about the night in the woods. It's strange, when I slept that night after burning the plate, I expected dreams of the rotten spire and the broken throne. I expected to be tormented by the king in yellow. But all I dreamt of was black, motionless water. The end. Did we confess to murder on our, like, extension application? Okay, so that's it's an ending. There unfortunately doesn't appear to be information anywhere. Self-voicing. Oh, it's okay, that's like a computer voice. So there doesn't seem to be anything like unfortunately there's nothing like achievements or anything to indicate how many endings there are. Let me look at the... Maybe I can look at the game page. It said Trixie is around 3 to 5 hours long, but I think that's reading, and which is faster than speaking out loud. Because we've been... Oh, because it's only been 4 hours. Okay, so... Okay, the game has 2 main potential endings, with additional minor alternate endings. Oh. I should have... I want the art... How do I get the art book? I could have chosen to buy the art book and I wasn't paying attention and I didn't do that when I bought it. I would like to buy the art book. I guess I could just buy it again. Well, I guess I can't. I'd have to spend enough. It's like it's only $7 to get the art book. If I just purchase it again at the correct price point. Yeah, I'm liking it a lot as well. I think I'm gonna come back. When do I stream? On Thursdays? I don't want to wait a week to get back to this, but I don't know if people want me to stream more than twice a week. Probably be excessive. But, I'm definitely gonna come back and play the other 2 routes and see which one of them gives me the other ending. But yeah, I'm enjoying this a lot. It reminds me a bit of Night in the Woods, actually. Like, it's a little bit less, like, I think a parallel narrative to the, to, like, specific societal things. In, like, it's, like, which Night in the Woods is, it's, like, more directly about, like, the societal influences on this town. This game is more about the interpersonal relationships, but the, like, kind of trying to figure out how much of it is real and the weird sort of gentle cosmic horror and the gentle as in it's not like super gory or anything. Sort of cosmic horror, and it's like also they're all anthro. Also this game is super trans, which is cool. Just very queer in general. I very much appreciate that. It is gay and trans, and I appreciate that. Night in the Woods is a bit is also fairly gay, but I don't think any of the characters in that are trans. Canonically. Yeah, it's not a huge part of the plot, just something that shows up in a meaningful way. Yeah, they do a really good job of having it, like, be a part of the character's character, but not their entire character, and also having it be, like, important to the relationships, but not necessarily to the plot. I assume that the developers are trans and gay. And it's nice to read. Yeah. It's also, like, the writing is just very good. Like, the characters are believable, and the way that they talk about stuff, like, is compelling and interesting and makes you think about them like they're people. Rather than just, like, dumping a bunch of text on you about stuff. This is like not a fair comparison because it's like also pretty much a visual novel, but with like trans stuff, which is like not necessarily that similar because they're different genres. But like Read Only Memories has dialogue about trans stuff, and it's a lot more like frustratingly heavy-handed and clunky. Whereas I feel like this handles different topics relating to gender. This is more about like lived experiences rather than just like the esoteric concept of gender, which that game gets into more in an interesting way. But I feel like this game handles the dialogue like a lot more naturalistically, where it feels more like a conversation that people might have and have had, which is cool, rather than just like monologuing to yourself about personal things, which I think is a problem that sometimes visual novels can have. Not that I've played a ton of them, but just dialogue. Dialogue heavy games can often have the problem where your character feels like they're talking to themselves, and this game it always feels like you're talking to somebody else, if that makes sense. Like it feels like properly conversational. Yeah. Yeah. It's just nice. It's nice to be like casually represented in stuff without it being like a big deal. I assume this was the bad ending because we murdered somebody. I think my only complaint so far, like major complaint, is that I think that this game would benefit from some way to track which of the endings you've seen um, internally in the game. Because right now, in order to find that out, you have to check the page, which I guess is like neat because it's kind of like you can figure it out yourself and it's more exploration. But yeah, I don't think it needs a full flowchart. I get what you're I get what you're joking though. But I think it would be nice if that was an option somewhere. Um, I appreciate it feeling less structured, but also I would be ashamed to miss something because you didn't realize it was there like in the first game. I don't know, Pat. Because, yeah. I also, at some point, maybe not on stream, maybe on stream, I'm gonna revisit the first game if there's another ending. I may look that up, though. Okay.